Welcome to Conversations with South Point Hemp. I am your host, Annie Stanfield, and joining me today is my co-host, Professor D. How's it going?
It's going well,
Awesome.
and pretty excited about this one once again because last episode we talked about the endocannabinoid system. Well, now let's talk about the cannabinoids.
Let's talk about the cannabinoids. There are going to be a lot of cannabinoids to talk about today.
Yeah, today is going to be the alphabet of cannabis. Try to bear with us to the best because there's, you know, everything from THCA, THC, CBD, CBDA, THCO, THCP to CBGA to CBG to HHC. So just we're going to do our best to really eliminate and kind of take some of the mystery out of the alphabet of cannabis.
Yeah, I think we use like every letter there.
Pretty close. Yeah. Pretty much if you got your alphabet soup out, you might have to open another can.
Yeah, and these are just the ones we know about now. There's still like hundreds of them out there that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, we're going to just basically kind of the most popular or really the ones that, we really kind of deal with a lot more.
Yeah, when I'm out on sales and I'm going in and checking what different people have, I'm constantly seeing a new cannabinoid listed on something, and I'm like, let me write that down and research that one because I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, literally just this morning we were talking, and you said one, and there's 9 of them, and I was like, what?
Yeah, CBT.
CBT, yeah. I was like, all right, Annie, at this point, you're just making stuff up.
Well, there was THCJD.
Yeah,
and
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're going to do our best to cover, and try to keep it a little simple.
Keep it simple. Find like mainly the ones that you're going to run into.
Yeah. Yep.
That way, so we can keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, keep it
KISS
simple.
method.
Do the best we can.
Right. So, I guess the best way to start out is kind of like if you can envision a flow chart.
Right.
We can start off with the mother of all cannabinoids, the one that starts off in the plant, and then kind of go from there. So, when the plant's growing, CBG is the first cannabinoid that is present in the plant.
Yeah, CBGA actually is
right.
The acidic form in the plant is the first to express. And yeah, pretty much everything else kind of derives down from that. But that is normally the most prominent. It's, definitely the first cannabinoid to express in flowering.
Right. So cannabigerol. I guess we're going to sit here and try and say all these words.
Yeah. It's going to probably be a very comical episode today where we try to stumble around a lot of these words. But just like I said, to the best of our ability and knowledge on the subject.
Right. So CBG, cannabigerol, like we said, it's the mother of all cannabinoids. It's where everything starts from. So it's going to be the most abundant, early on.
Yeah, discovered in 1964. It binds not just with the CB1 receptor, but also with the CB2 receptors, as we talked about in our previous conversation. And helps really kind of lower your eye pressure for glaucoma. Helps with inflammation, especially with the bowel disorders.
Oh, IBS, yeah.
Oh, IBS and whatnot. And anytime you kind of deal with stomach issues, really has a great ability to take the inflammation kind of out of the stomach. It's helps kind of regenerate nerve and brain cells on some studies. They're finding out just due to its interaction with other kind of receptors alongside the CB1. It's also antibacterial, which is really incredible for one of these cannabinoids to really push through as strong as the antibacterial of CBG.
Right, because several of these cannabinoids, like you said, are going to be antifungal, antibacterial, which is amazing because there are so many antibiotics that are becoming resistant.
Yes.
And so, like people with MRSA and different things, these cannabinoids really help with people experiencing issues with MRSA and the antibiotic resistant strains. So CBG is one of those that's excellent for that.
Can also be responsible for the munchies because it will stimulate appetite, which if you're a cancer patient trying to put on weight is pretty great side effect.
Yes, that is true. And we'll find other cannabinoids that help decrease your appetite.
Yeah. I've actually had a friend of mine say, too, it helps regulate his sweating. kind of helps regulate his body temperature as
Oh,
well. And
nice.
that was one thing he noticed about the CBG molecule opposed to other cannabinoids.
Yeah, it's also there's also evidence that for acute pain, because some of your cannabinoids work better on chronic pain
Yeah.
that you've had for a while. CBG is excellent for acute pain. So if it's something like within, 24, 48 hours, an onset of something, CBG is going to be.
Yeah, I mean CBG really for me, it just on the medical side of it all is it's a good performer. It's a great entourage effect to add to other cannabinoids as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit more upbeat too. It's a really neat cannabinoid to see in the flower form when you actually get a CBG dominant plant. It's actual real powdery, where most trichromes and stuff on the plant with the cannabinoids are more sticky and kind of resiny. That's almost like a powdery, kind of has a little bit of slickness, but it's a powder. It's very unusual compared to any other trichromes normally found on cannabis plants.
Cool. So that was CBG. That was, good pain, antibacterial, colitis, IBS, migraines.
Yeah.
Was another one because I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, what can help with my migraines and stuff? So that one is CBG. So we've got that one out. So from the plant, once CBG, it breaks off into THCA, CBDA, and CBCA.
Yes.
So we want to, let's go with, let's knock out CBC.
Let's knock out CBC. Okay, so cannabichromine.
Yep.
The CBC, very similar to the interaction of THC. Works in great conjunction as well. It helps activate your TRPV1 and TRPA1 receptors for pain perception. That's one thing most people with pain really notice. There's great benefit from CBC and also the cancer properties of it.
Right. It's the second most potent one for cancer next to CBG.
Yes. So kind of helps regulate your anandamides. Anandamides.
Yep. It prevents the uptake of anandamide, that bliss chemical.
Yes.
So it keeps it in your system longer, so you're feeling happy.
Longer. For more balance. Yeah. Also helps with acne for topical application. They're finding lots of studies really came back great for that. And it's kind of an upbeat cannabinoid, kind of a jolly, helps with depression normally, kind of helps bring out the funk.
Oh, yeah. Because like I said, that anandamide that, that helps, because anandamide helps fight cancer. So that's why.
Yeah. And depression. Yeah.
Yep. So that bliss chemical. So CBC is a good upper.
Yeah. Kind of lasting longer, kind of helps extend that blissful state.
All right. So let's move over to CBD then.
CBDA in the acidic form of the plant converts, obviously due to heat or ultraviolet light, into CBD. So, I don't know, when was the first time you ever heard CBD? I know it's one of the most prominent, well-known cannabinoids in hemp.
Well, the first time I heard about it was when I was a massage therapist and somebody asked me to give them a massage with CBD oil.
Right.
And, I had never heard of that one. And so that's my first interaction.
So I stumbled upon it by like 2008. Little was known about CBD at this point. And then really kind of heard it again, more common in 2010. When people were really kind of starting to talk about, we're finding this molecule that's great for seizures. And that was the biggest push at first, was the anticonvulsant and the anti-epileptic properties of it.
Right.
So Charlotte's Web, our Project CBD, which was trying to stabilize this CBG molecule for Charlotte Figge, which was a young girl. I don't remember exact age. She was young, very young. Suffered from horrible seizures that were just very convulsant. I mean, several times a day. They were trying, they're trying anything. Nothing was working. They're trying. And they found this cannabis strain that certain cannabis did help, THC helped with the convulsions and everything else. But then it was discovered that the CBD dominant strain, or CBD strain, it was a mix of THC and CBD, literally knocked her seizures to very bare minimum.
Oh, that's
almost,
awesome.
like maybe once a day or once or twice a week, opposed to several a day. So that was kind of Charlotte's Web was the genetics that came from there. And from there, all these breeders and all these growers and stuff were looking into something called Project CBD. We were trying to find CBD, the molecule in, THC dominant plants. And we literally found it in more or less feral hemp. Like, whoa. And so that really opened up to where a lot of the first cannabis laws for states that later became, 50 state legal was CBD. That was this big push. So CBD is extremely crucial. A lot's kind of known about it. It was first discovered in 1940. Chemical structure wasn't even made clear until far later. I think like the 1964, I believe. It's really non-impairing. There's no high really with it. It's it's non-psychoactive by itself. 50 state legal now in some way, shape, or form, and really helps with anxiety, sleep, chronic pain. It's anti-inflammatory, really works well with arthritis, and also for addiction. It's been used to help fight, addictions from everything, to nicotine addiction to alcohol.
And opioids.
And opioids, especially opioids, yeah.
Yep. And the good thing about CBD is that when people have too much THC in their system, CBD helps modulate and regulate it, and it'll bring you down.
Yeah, like the previous conversation, that's the brakes. Pump the brakes, hit the CBD, and that's going to really help since the way it blocks your CB1 receptor.
Right. But yeah, we were talking about, the addiction, people with fibromyalgia and migraines, COPD. I mean, there's a whole long list of disorders and illnesses that CBD can be used for. I think just about anything and everything I've seen, from sickle cell and from ulcers and ADHD and autism.
Yeah.
Just because of how it attaches to the receptors in every part of your body. Just about every disorder in any part of your body, CBD can sit there and improve to some degree.
Right. And that's going to kind of lead us in, especially mentioning epilepsy and autism. We kind of have a new player, been really recent. Really, I've only been working with this molecule for a couple of years now. And most don't even know about it is CBDV. So extremely rare cannabinoid was a rare cannabinoid. We're tending to find it more in genetics. It was discovered in 1969. CBDV is cannabidiol. It's non-intoxicating, and probably one of the best. They think it's almost 30 times stronger than CBD for an anti-epileptic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Alternative. So pain perception helps tremendously also with the pain perception. And the inflammation really helps lower inflammation kind of all across. Studies in the UK have been working with autism, especially in the nonverbal aspect of the spectrum, and seeing really great results. So really super excited about that. Like I said, this is kind of one of the new kids on the block. So.
Right. And just a little selfless plug there, South Point Hemp, we have 2 chocolate bars that are amazing that have CBDV in them.
Yes. Yeah, I had the privilege to grow quite a bit of plants with CBDV this last season, and I've been processing a lot of CBDV oil and really kind of learning it, trying to wrap my head around it, and really fascinated by it. It's a lot fattier than CBD normally. The cannabis plant naturally produces fats and lipids and waxes, and CBDV kind of carries that kind of through. So it's a matter of like the fine tune, like how much should we take and how much we shouldn't when processing the oil. But incredible anticonvulsant though. This really could just be a game changer for epilepsy.
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime you can find something, especially that'll help with the seizures and autism and ADHD and
just the it really helps balance moods. It helps with the homeostasis of your brain and immune response and just mood. Just kind of just puts you in a jolly mood.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll have to look for more things from CBDV as the studies come out on that one.
Because it's an exciting one.
Yeah. And then, so Then we'll go to, since we're going to stay in the C's.
Okay.
Let's get to CBN.
Yes.
So as THC breaks down, it converts to CBN.
Due to heat, degradation, or ultraviolet light.
Right. So CBN is another one of those that is considered non-psychoactive or non-impairing.
Non-impairing. I tell you what, it will make you sleepy.
Yes.
So a lot of that kind of couch lock almost, just kind of the heaviness that people have, especially in the cannabis indica. It can really be prominently found as the plant matures also in flower. If you let a plant go too long and you miss the peak THCA aspect of it, then the next is going to start suppressing that CBN.
So if you're going through your drawers and under your bed and you find an old stash of weed and you take it out and you try to light it up and all you do is fall asleep.
Yeah.
It's because it's converted to CBN. Right.
Now it's became 99.
There you go. So, yeah, that one is really good for glaucoma.
Oh, yeah. Incredible.
Yeah. So CBG and CBN are both really good for reducing the eye pressures.
Yeah. A diabetic friend of mine as well says it really helps. He was a big fan of the CBN, and I introduced him to the CBC.
Yeah. And this was another one that's a really good antibacterial for MRSA. So that was another one of the really good ones for CBN.
It's fairly harder to get because it is the degradation of THC. So
just hold on to your stash a little bit longer.
A little bit longer.
But yeah, I have friends who have kids with cerebral palsy, and cerebral palsy has been shown in studies to benefit from use of CBN.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that was another really good thing with that one. But
well, I guess that's pretty much the C's.
Yeah, the non-psychoactive side of cannabis.
The non-psychoactive. Now we're going to get, more into the psychoactive fun side, I guess some would say, on the recreational side, with the THC.
Yeah, so let's see here.
Well, there's 12 varieties, more or less, kind of known, expressed from my understanding, that have been identified. Most are pretty familiar probably with Delta 9.
Yep.
Tetrahydrocannabinol. I know we really kind of touched base in previous episodes on Delta 9 THC. We're going to probably just kind of give it a quick once over. Yep. And if you want to know a little bit more in depth, previous episodes.
Yep. Your Delta 9 is what everybody normally expects when you go to your dispensary. Yep. And you get your marijuana, you get your weed, you get your pot. Yep. That's the Delta 9 THC.
The Delta 9 THC. It's famous.
Right. And before it's Delta 9 THC, its raw form is THCA.
It is THCA. Yep.
And we're able to get THCA in all sorts of places.
Yeah, well, because it hasn't actually been converted yet to the THC molecule.
Right. So it still technically falls under the legal version of hemp because it's less than 0.3%. Delta 9 THC.
Yes.
Because it's THCA.
This is correct, yeah. Where actually the Delta 9 THC molecule is the most psychoactive.
Right. So yeah, your Delta 9 THC is commonly known as the marijuana one. That one has been studied, and it's good for just about everything that CBD is good for. Asthma.
Right.
So I know for me, I do THC for my asthma because I can feel it opening up my lungs.
Oh yeah, like a mule kick sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
You cough up and hack up and you feel like amazing.
Well, I can sit there and take deeper breaths, and I was sitting there playing with it the first time, and, my husband looks over at me like, what in the world are you doing? And
I'm like, doing your breathing techniques?
It wasn't quite Lamaze breathing,
okay.
But I was sitting there like, I was so excited about how deep of a breath and how much I could exhale. Yeah. Just after a little bit of THC. And the next day, my lungs were so sore.
Yeah. That's when you get the real big, long water pipes out. That's when you get to really see that lung expansion, lung kick, and the kind of exfoliant of THC.
So you're saying I need different toys then? I need some glass.
I mean, if it's not 3 foot, it's not there.
But yeah, so yeah, Delta 9 THC. That's, back in the day, everybody's like, oh, I got glaucoma. Yeah. I need weed for my glaucoma, And we found that there's so many, other things.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep apnea is one where THC is
Or
more beneficial.
really, you're looking at your CBG and your CBN and all these other things that help lower your eye pressure as well.
Right. And let's see here. Tourette's.
Yeah.
And people with tics, THC is the better cannabinoid than CBD. It helps them more often.
Right.
But yeah, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic pain. Because we talked about the cannabinoids that work for acute pain.
That's kind of the great thing about cannabis is no matter really what cannabinoid, you're going to get some relief some way.
Right.
The majority of them are anti-inflammatory, or a lot of these are going to be same medical kind of
work a lot of the same things.
Yeah, work across all, a good majority of the cannabinoids found in cannabis.
Right. So then after the popularity of Delta 9, we get into Delta 8.
Yeah, we do get into Delta 8, which it's a little bit more fuzzy kind of cannabinoid for me. But man, for pain relief.
Oh, I've got a lot of friends that will take Delta 8 at night instead of opioids, instead of their pain meds after surgery.
Oh, yeah.
I've gotten so many friends that are like, hey, I need something. I don't want to go on these pain meds.
So, as far as a psychoactive, it's about a third of the strength of THC. But really, can kind of be really ideal sometimes. But yeah, for pain and sleep relief, man, I'm a fan of the Delta 8.
Yeah.
If you get a lot of it, it'll make you kind of fuzzy, kind of, there's definitely there's a difference. But over the past several years, I've really kind of learned how well it does with pain perception and sleep aid.
Right. You don't get because it is a tamer cannabinoid than Delta 9. You don't get the paranoia and the anxiety.
Yeah, not nearly as bad now.
Because people who are prone to paranoia and anxiety, THC is not the cannabinoid for you.
Not the cannabinoid. Stick with the CBD.
Yep. And so, and even, if you want that psychoactive, that high, Delta 8 is a tamer high without that paranoia and without that anxiety.
Right.
So that's a really good one for Delta 8. And it is naturally found in the plant. So, when people toss around the word synthetic, that kind of annoys me.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Delta 8 does appear, normally it's a conversion from CBD, but Delta 8, I've had it expressed a lot, especially in the THC world, where, Delta 8 would express with the Delta 9 THC. So it is found as normally more minute. Most of the Delta 8 is, though, from isomization conversion from CBD.
Right. So they're not taking any chemicals and making a brand new thing, calling it Delta 8. It's naturally occurring.
Yeah.
You just heat up the CBD to where it converts on its own to Delta 8.
Yeah, right.
So, that's one of another myths we busted, is that, it's natural.
Right. And then we have Delta 10.
Delta 10. Yeah. This one I kind of got excited learning about. I'm going to have to try this one. Yeah. Because where Delta 8's kind of your sedative, your downer, Delta 10 is like an upper.
Yeah.
And it energizes you. And where Delta 8 is more of your like body high, where you feel it in your arms, your legs and stuff. Delta 10, it's more in your head.
Yeah. It's more of a kind of creativity side. That's what I've heard. Yeah.
So, I'm going to have to try that one.
I've had it. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm not really adverse in Delta 10, but I've heard great things from some people, and some are just like, it's not Delta 9. But
it's less potent than Delta 9.
Yes.
So, but and I never really seen it on its own.
Yeah, it's normally in conjunction.
Yeah, Delta 10 is with other things. Yeah. So, you're gonna find a list of like 2 or 3 cannabinoids, and Delta 10 might be one of them.
Which is always, in my opinion, a ratioed, more balanced ratioed cannabinoid product, whether it be flower to edible to, vape cart is, something that I always look for.
Oh, yeah. The more cannabinoids you can get working together, the better effect you're going to have.
Yes.
Yep. So, that one was Delta 8. Or Delta 10.
Kind of more fine tune also sometimes, person to person.
That's true. And so the next one is THCV. That one's tetrahydrocannabivarin. So that's another kind of new one.
Yeah, so super excited about this. Really big fan of THCV. I've been exposed to it several times over the years, and it's kind of right now kind of the hot cannabinoid, on the market. Everybody that asks me always asks, "You got any THCV? You have any THCV?" Which South Point's we have a couple of special blends that contain THCV. That does great for pain relief for me.
It's those chocolate bars that have the CBDV in them as well.
Yes, yeah.
So it's got the THCV.
Yeah, as well as the CBDV. So mostly found in the African sativa strains. I think you have a list.
Durban Poison, Willie Nelson, and Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, so these are a few of my favorite things.
THCV. If people have been like, "Do you have anything that's going to help me lose weight? Do you have anything that's going to,
And I will firsthand tell you, this helps suppress your appetite.
That's awesome.
Even in small amounts, I really notice. Yeah, if you have problems with, I love cannabis, but I raid the fridge every time. THCV is what you're looking for, because it will suppress my appetite. It'll be almost into the afternoon. I'm like, when's the last time I ate? And then once THCV wears off, I know, because I'm looking for food. But otherwise, definitely really helps suppress the appetite and counter the munchies. Really good for insulin resistance as well. This could be really a game changer for diabetics as we learn more about this THCV.
Oh, yeah.
So really helps regulate blood sugar. Still has the seizure, lower seizure probability, with it.
And this one's also shown promise with Alzheimer's.
Yes.
It helps decrease the lesions and the tremors and stuff from Alzheimer's while increasing motor control.
Yeah, and you're not trying to eat the refrigerator. So it's supposed to also help with stimulating bone growth.
So people dealing with osteoporosis, as people age and stuff, THCV is a really good one.
Yeah, no, I really see that. I just really hope we can find more of it. It's another kind of rare cannabinoid that we're trying to really track down and get the process down on.
Right. So that's THCV. Now let's see here.
We got THCP as well.
THCP, yes.
Yeah, we do have THCP. Also naturally occurring, a little longer carbon chain than Delta 9. It's considerably stronger. It's actually tetrahydro cannabiferol. Cannabiferol. Yeah. So tetrahydro cannabiferol. I think I got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you want to say that 3 more times real quick and see?
No. Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol. I got that one. I'm still working on my THCP though.
I'm glad we can shorten these.
Yeah.
So THCP, like you said, it's 33 times more potent than Delta 9.
Yeah.
So when you're out and you're looking at your gummies and you're shopping around and you see THCP, be aware that is 33 times more potent.
That's where you get the Diablo gummy bear.
There you go.
Yeah, usually really minutely found naturally.
Right. But yeah, some of the people out there have taken that and turned it into, crazy high gummies.
Yeah. They do the trick.
Right. And it's has a greater affinity at your CB1 receptors. That's why it has that higher effect than THC.
It's supercharged.
Right. I'm still new. I don't play with that one yet.
I steer clear of the THCP. Once again, a lot of people overdo it with the edibles.
Right.
The golden rule of an edible is always start off at a quarter or half and work your way in. You don't have to eat the whole thing, and that's that. Especially when it comes to THCP, what a gummy that normally would be 10th or at least quartered, people are eating the whole thing.
Yeah, and then that's when they're going to the hospital and thinking they're going to die all this other.
You got to really kind of realize when you're seeing these cannabinoids in these packages, like, oh, that's 33 times stronger of a psychoactive. It's it's going to have 33 times more connection to my CB1 receptor.
Right. And you're going to be in for a ride.
You're going to be in for a ride. Yeah.
All right. So I think that's going to cover our naturally occurring cannabinoids. So the next group we're going to hit is what people refer to as like synthetic cannabinoids, ones that aren't necessarily naturally occurring.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally it goes through a process to really get them. Rather sometimes it's just a matter of adding an extra hydrogen molecule to the chain to achieve them, as is the case with HHC. So it's a hexahydrocannabinol, semi-synthetic. It's basically by adding an extra hydrogen, molecule to the carbon chain of THC.
So like people who are familiar with vegetable oil, and when you add an extra hydrogen molecule to vegetable oil, you get margarine.
Yes.
So that's all they've done with THC. They've added that extra hydrogen molecule.
So once again, stronger than Delta 8 THC, but not as strong as Delta 9.
Right. And it's I saw that it was even less psychoactive than, Delta 8. So I think sometimes they just add these things.
Yeah, a lot of times it would be used as a filter as well, and kind of helps keep everything, kind of more or less legal. With the Delta 9 THC, I think a lot of times it's probably added,
Right, because you can only have so much.
Yeah.
So, you add the other cannabinoids to kind of give it a little oomph.
Yeah. Yep.
But so HHC was the first synthetic one. And then we have THCO acetate.
Oh.
Yes. This one is...
Yeah, are you going to try that name?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't even write it down because I'm not even going to try.
We're going to try the tetrahydrocannabinol.
Yeah.
-O acetate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So THCO acetate, it's 3 times stronger than Delta 9.
Yes. 5 times stronger than Delta 8.
Right. So if so you have your Delta 9, which people are familiar with. Your THCO is at 3 times that, and you have your your THCP, which is 33 times Delta 9 going up.
Right.
Right.
And you have your THCO, which is an acetate ester of THC.
Yes. And THCO is kind of referred to as the psychedelic cannabinoid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can get borderline hallucinatory effects when you take that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's a popular one in a lot of the gummies and the vapes and stuff out there is THCO.
Not a whole lot of experience with it. I've seen it, I've experienced it, but nothing, like I never really deep dove into it per se. But I know some of my friends said, it was super upbeat. They just really, they said they had a great weekend.
And we know that there's other ones out there, like I said, THCJD, THCX, and we're not going to get into all of those because they're not out there a lot.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And, I'm sure we'll be back on this subject plenty of times more, especially as more studies are coming out and more becomes known and more gets discovered,
Right.
A lot of these are identified, but none of them are actually, mainstreamed yet.
Yep. And in studying all these cannabinoids and going through all of them, they have found that there are plants and different things out there that mimic cannabinoids. So you can find these in other plants other than cannabis.
Cannabinoid is not just for cannabis anymore.
Right.
Or endocannabinoid.
Yeah, they like to call, or they refer to them as cannabimimetics because they mimic.
Okay.
Don't ask me to repeat that again.
I was hoping for a 3 times fast.
Nope. If you missed it, you can rewind and go back and listen.
Okay, yeah.
But no, there are plants that mimic the cannabinoids that are found in cannabis, and one of them, flax.
Yes.
They found that flax, where we get our linen and everything from, it produces a CBD compound.
Flaxseed, great for most bodybuilders. Anybody looking for plant-based protein, normally, flaxseed.
Well, and just like hemp, it's a good fiber.
It is good fiber.
It has a high vibration frequency and all that.
Yes.
Another one is one that's similar to THC is a New Zealand liverwort. Oh. So, don't be going out trying to find these plants.
And once again, New Zealand's probably the only place it's found on our planet.
Yeah. The black truffle So if you,
Big fan.
if you go out and you eat at a nice restaurant and they put a little black truffle over your pasta.
Salt. Oh, the mashed potatoes.
Right. Anandamide.
Yes.
That is that bliss chemical.
Blissful.
That, THC. Yep. Black truffle has that.
Nice. Yeah. When I was in the Northwest Pacific, that was a great pastime of mine.
And cocoa. The cocoa plant.
Yes.
But cacao.
Very cacao. Very, very blissful.
That's why everybody loves eating chocolate.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because it's got that anandamide. Yep. And there's a Chinese rhododendron. It's called the Chinese Labrador that's used in Chinese medicine. And it's got CBC and that CBT. And so you can find those cannabinoids in that plant. They're in helichrysum. So if people are familiar with their essential oils and stuff, it's also like a little straw flower. So when you get the cactuses at Lowe's or whatever, and they have that fake dried flower that's glued to the cactus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, helichrysum.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so, that has CBG.
The mother.
Yes.
The mother cannabinoid.
Right.
Look at you flowering.
Really good mood stabilizer and antidepressant right there.
Right there.
Yep. So, you can find these cannabinoids in other plants and things out there.
Just prominently found in the cannabis plant.
Right. That's where you can get all of them together.
Right.
So, going with all of the different things.
So I know this is a lot, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably going to be one that you revisit a time or two or try to re-listen to it just to probably hear us stumble on trying to pronounce some of these as well. But a lot of cannabinoids. But
right.
Great thing about cannabinoids is they really do work well together.
They do. And the more cannabinoids you can get together, it's only going to benefit you.
Yeah. What's your entourage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so when you're going out there and you're looking for something, everything's pretty much going to help you with pain, inflammation, help calm your nerves, anything like that.
Sometimes people, CBG and some of them, even THC can also, kind of be aware of that.
That is true. That is true.
For some people, it could be calming. For other people, it could help raise their anxiety or paranoia.
Right.
So, great thing to know. And then it's not always just about the cannabinoids
right?
Either. So, for a later episode, we will get further deep dive into terpenes.
Yes, because those are like best buds with the cannabinoids,
and really can alter the effects of how the cannabinoid actually works.
Right. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of terpenes that will mimic cannabinoids. Myrcene was one of the ones that mimic. That's found in mangoes. And that's the sedating terpene. Yeah, that's familiar with the couch lock.
Yeah. So ironically, mangoes, due to that, terpene, will actually help boost cannabinoid effect.
Right. So if you because they said if you want a more potent effect, eat a mango.
Yeah. Due to the ricin.
Right.
So a lot of just wait. Terpenes is coming.
Yeah, we're gonna do the terp talks.
That is a really terp talk. Is something we're both really passionate about.
Yeah, and I mean, coming from the massage career field, I was heavily a big heavy user of essential oils.
Yeah,
and that's what makes essential oils work is the terpenes.
Yeah,
so we will
already had that familiar introduction already. I just love the way they taste.
I like the way they smell.
I love the way they smell. I love the way they taste. I love the effect. I love me some terps.
So we will sit there and geek out on terpenes in a future episode. We are thankful that you guys joined us for today. Like I said, this was overwhelming, maybe. A lot of information, but there are a lot of benefits. There are so many studies out there for different cannabinoids helping with so many different disorders and so many conditions.
Right.
That it's everybody can use it for something.
Yeah.
And so if you want to continue the conversation, and if you have any questions, hey, what about this? What about that? We would love for you to join our Facebook group.
Yes.
Because we have one, Conversations with South Point Hemp.
I will join it at some point here soon. But yes, I highly advise everybody to join because I will be jumping on there as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we feel free to join the group. We can have the conversations there, and go into detail and just, catch up and say
Give
hi.
us some feedback, stuff you would like us maybe to talk about or to address, or, all the way to the point of, stumbling around some of these, cannabinoid words as well.
Right.
Or how many times we say absolutely in an episode.
Hey, now you're getting too close to home. Taking a little personal there.
I try to get mine in where I can.
But yep, so thank you guys for joining us today. And we also want to thank our sponsors for this hempisode. It's the Mocanna O'Fallon. They are, like I said,
shout out.
Yep. It's a family-owned business run by Shirley and Kevin Derby. And their family, their sons, Josh and Kevin, you'll go in and talk to them, or their nephew, Chris. I've met all of these guys, and they are amazing, and they have such a love for this plant and helping people. So when you're in the O'Fallon, Missouri area, you can take 70 to Bryan Road, and I think it's a Veterans Parkway.
Gotcha.
Where you can sit there.
Right out the interstate. Yeah.
Right there. You can see it from you can see them from the interstate.
I will try to be in soon.
Oh yeah, they've got all sorts of awesome Missouri products.
Nice.
They carry, and support the Missouri hemp farmers.
Represent.
Yep. So we like to thank them again for sponsoring this episode, and join us next time on our next episode.
To the next episode. Smoke weed every day.